Hey, what's up, everybody? Garrett here, giving you another report for Buenos Aires. It's my second one. It's already been, I think, 3 or 4 weeks. This time, unfortunately, was because I was sick. The week after that I posted my last video, I ended up getting food poisoning on a Sunday, which took me out until like that Wednesday or Thursday for me to feel good. And then the next week, I went out and had sushi. I'll save the name of the place since my friends went and ate there several times and they were fine. So it might have just been bad luck or my stomach being bad. And then the following Wednesday, yeah, like I went to a restaurant and I definitely got a stomach bug. It was not food poisoning, I don't think. It might have been completely unrelated, but it was pretty much after eating there. And I think also my stomach being so sensitive from the food poisoning before, it wasn't really regulated yet. I am fine now. It just sucked that pretty much the last 2 weeks I was in Buenos Aires were downer weeks, simply because I was sick. So I did want to go over a couple of like more highlights. I did do a lot of stuff in the meantime while I was still sick. It took me a few days to recover, obviously each time, but I was still bouncing around and seeing what I wanted to see. Give me 1 second. I just want to pop in to my little travelogue here just to refresh my memory. So went to continued going to a bunch of museums like MACBA and Malba and um, Caminito and Museo Decorativo and Museo Proa and like yeah, just basically living in the city a little bit more. But there was a few things that I hadn't done yet that I did in the last couple weeks that I was there that were cool. The two guides through. So one was Teatro Colón. You have to make a reservation online, and it's totally worth it though. It's a cool building. The guide is like an hour, and or the tour is like an hour, and yeah, it's a really cool building. In fact, they don't really have anything in January, so I have friends that are there right now that will be there when I return to Buenos Aires in late February, and we are going to go try and see a show there. So that's the big thing that I want to try and do is see a show there. Then a friend and I went to the nature reserve, so it's like on the side on the coast of Buenos Aires, the East Coast, and it's got a beach, and you just walk through, and it's super pleasant. And it was cool. It was just like a it was great for an afternoon. And then finally, the last tour I did was Congress. It's the congressional building, and it's super cool. Definitely worth the tour. It was like an hour and 15 minutes, and I think they're at 12 and 1 every day. So definitely check that out. I just showed up impromptu and got in the tour. And again, I was listening in Spanish, and I got about 80% of it because of my level, but it was enough. I was more interested in just the space and seeing things, and you got to see a bunch of the different rooms, and it was a good tour. Super informative and um, a lot of cool stuff in there. I guess overall, since we're already 3.5 minutes in, I'll just give my final takes on Buenos Aires, even though I'm going back. I really do like the city, but as I mentioned last video, it's a shame that there's not really more long-term bike rentals because that would make it a lot better for me. It's very easy to get around via Ubers, but that's not something like locals can do. It's only because Americans have the U.S. currency. It's 2 to 3 thousand or 5,000 for a cab, which is not bad. Public transportation is also perfectly good. Taking buses and the metro is fine. Took the train up to Delta Tigre. It was fine. It's much, much cheaper. You just have to get a Sube card, which might be difficult. It's easier to recharge it than to get it. I'm up in Bariloche right now, and it's easier to get it here than seemingly down there. But you can only keep 6,000 pesos on it at a time, just because that's the limit. But most bus rides are, I think they just changed it now to 32, 320. So not too bad. But overall, I really enjoyed Buenos Aires. It's a fantastic city. It's Again, my goal is not to live in a big metro, but if I were to do that again, Buenos Aires would probably be near the top of the list. Not just because it's cheap, it's just there's such a mix of people and everyone is super friendly. All the locals are amazing and never felt unsafe. There's plenty of nightlife and things to do, and I would have loved living here when I was in my 20s, that's for sure. So overall, I had a great time in Buenos Aires, and I'll let you guys know sooner rather than later where I'm at next. Cheers.